Hyvää iltapäivää. Minun nimeni on Kai Rupponen Esri Finlandilta ja tervetuloa tänne Esri Finlandin ja TomTomin webinaariin aiheesta kuinka kaupunkisuunnittelua ja joukkoliikenteen palveluita voidaan tehostaa analysoimalla liikennedataa. Ja webinaari menee seuraavasti eteenpäin, eli Maarten Clements TomTomilta ottaa tuossa hetken päästä mikrofonin käteensä. Mutta sitä ennen, jos tulee jotain kysymyksiä, niin teidän mikrofonit on tällä hetkellä mykistettyjä siellä. Ja meillä on tuossa loppupuolella, niin pidetään tällainen question and answers sessio, jossa voidaan sitten kysymyksiä tehdä joko englanniksi tai suomeksi. Ja sitten täällä on vielä tämä chattipalvelu, jonka kautta voi tehdä kyselyitä tai kysymyksiä, jos tulee mieleen ja ei ole paperia siinä sivussa, mihin sitä kirjoittaa. But I think that now it's time to switch to Maarten. Hopefully, Maarten, you can hear my voice there.
Yes, Kai. Thank you.
Okay.
And good afternoon, Finland. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Finland, and good afternoon from Amsterdam, where I'm based. I'm talking from the TomTom headquarters. And today I will be talking about how to use TomTom data for traffic analysis that can help you for better urban planning and improving customer experience in public transportation. I will give a short introduction into TomTom and our partnership with Esri, and after that I will give an introduction into TomTom Maps and our Maps products, and then mostly focus on our traffic data and traffic products. And I will also highlight some real use cases on how people have used our traffic data and maps data to improve urban problems and traffic management. Of course, you can always ask questions in the information box of our webinar tool. There's a chat box where you can at any time put your questions. And also at the end of the webinar, we will open the floor. So if you have questions, you can always ask them later. A short introduction into TomTom. Most people know us mostly from our consumer devices, the TomTom navigation devices, and also more recently TomTom sports watches. But TomTom is much more than that. We have a big domain focused on automotive. So we see more and more navigation solutions built, integrated into the dashboard. And of course, TomTom is supplying all our technology to make sure cars are equipped with the best navigation solutions. On top of that, we have a telematics division focused on more professional logistics and navigation solutions. And in that domain, we're currently the market leader in Europe. Today I'm representing TomTom Maps, which is our division completely focused on data solutions. So all the data that you see in a TomTom navigation solution is developed and maintained by TomTom itself. So we are a global map provider, and we have traffic solutions, parking information, weather information, and all kinds of data that you need for a smooth trip. From TomTom Maps, we also partner we power partner solutions. For example, in Esri, ArcGIS, ArcMap, you can use all TomTom's data to do all kinds of analysis. And today we will show you what you can do and highlight some of the benefits you can get from this type of data. We've actually been partner of Esri for more than 28 years now. At that time, our Maps division was called TeleAtlas. It was a different company that was acquired by TomTom about 15 years ago. And we've always been a partner of Esri, supplying data that can be used in all types of geospatial analysis. If you look at the TomTom Maps portfolio, everything starts with a map, of course. So we have a global vector map and since recently we also provide incremental map updates. So if you want to update the map, now you don't have to update the full map every time anymore, but we can provide you pieces of the puzzle only for that for those roads that have changed in the last release. On top of this, there's a lot of real-time information. So of course, you know, a map is not static information, so it becomes much more important nowadays to layer all kinds of real-time information, and especially traffic information, on top of the map. We provide traffic in real time, but also historical traffic information for all types of analysis on the traffic patterns. Next to these data sources, we also provide highly scalable online services and software. For example, routing technology or geocoding. But today, I will be talking about all the data, the maps, and the traffic data. Let's start with the map products. As I said, we provide global vector maps that can be used for a wide variety of purposes. So our data can be used for, of course, just to visualize a map, but also more complex technology like routing, logistics, 3D display, or geocoding. Everything can be done on top of this map. Just to highlight some of the most common things that you can do. Of course, we can start with routing, which is available in our core map content. Of course, we provide all the data that you need to plan a route. For example, speed limits, the types of turns that you're allowed to take on each road and each crossing, street names, lane information, and all that kind of information. On top of this, you can layer additional information if you want to do more advanced routing for logistics type of purpose. So we have on all the roads, we have information on the truck restrictions. For example, the height of a truck, the width of a truck, but also the type of goods you're allowed to carry. So is it illegal to transport hazardous materials over a certain road? Then we can inform you about this. And this allows you to build routing or logistics applications that allow you to plan exactly the routes that your type of vehicles are allowed to drive. On top of this, we can also, of course, also layer very detailed address information for house numbers or also POIs. We have a few hundred categories of POIs, including restaurants and hotels, and we provide address points for the exact locations of addresses. Of course, this type of information is vital if you want to do geocoding. Our maps are also completely future-proof, so we have some new technologies that make the maps ready for autonomous driving, like the width of the lanes and the exact markings on the road. And we're also working on indoor maps, so this will allow complete door-to-door navigation or routing applications. The way we build our maps is a combination of traditional technology and much more advanced community input technology. So we of course, we still drive the roads every year with our mobile mapping vans, which are equipped with a high range of sensors like GPS, but also LiDAR and cameras. In this way, we map all the main roads and especially all the roads that are under construction. Of course, we also have local people on the ground to do field surveys and to work with all the authoritative sources like the local communities, who are the best source to get all our updates on the changed roads and the upcoming projects on road constructions. But nowadays we use also a broad source of community input coming from all our users. So we have a lot of users driving around with TomTom equipment that provide real-time GPS data, but this data can also be used to identify changes in the map. So when we see people driving on the road and this road is not in our map yet, then we can directly and automatically identify that we need to make an update to our map. Our users can also provide us active community input. So through our TomTom navigation devices, you can tell us that there's a change in the road, or maybe a change in the speed limit or road name, and we will directly pick that up and make changes to our map. And together with our partners in the automotive world, we're getting more and more access to other sensor data from the car. So nowadays, these connected cars become driving sensors that have all types of information. For example, information on which fog lights they're carrying, or whether the windscreen wipers are on. And this type of information gives us real-time insight in what is happening on the road. By combining all these types of different sources, we have the best insight in what is happening on the road, and we can make changes as fast as possible to the map. And in this time, we really enable real-time applications to make use of our data. Now a bit of insight into the traffic solutions that we built. How do we collect traffic information? Well, of course, we started with our portable navigation devices that you can see at the bottom left here. So if you drive around with a TomTom connected navigation device, it means that you can receive traffic information, but it will also send us back your location and your speed in real time that we can use to build our traffic knowledge. Of course, all this data is appropriately anonymized so that we cannot identify individual users. But more and more, as I told you before, we are moving towards in-dash navigation. So navigation directly integrated into the dashboard. And we're working with a wide range of partners in this space, and we see more and more connected vehicles coming on the road that can provide us traffic data in real time. And everyone who drives around with TomTom traffic becomes part of this community that delivers real-time data back to us. And in this way, everyone builds on the same knowledge base of traffic. We also have a wide variety of fleet vehicles, trucks driving around with our solutions. And we have partners in the mobile space. TomTom make their own mobile application, but we have also partnered with some of the bigger global players that are using TomTom traffic and also provide data back to us. And in total, this has currently resulted in close to 500 million sources on the road that can provide us data in real time. Looking at that data, we have a lot of data. So what you see here is actually the raw GPS data of a big part of Europe. And if we zoom in on Finland, we can see that on all the roads we are collecting GPS data all the time. So what you see here is a quick glance under the hood of our raw GPS data, and you see a lot of lines on the road indicating the direction of the traffic and the speed of the traffic. Of course, you can also see a lot of noise here. So you see a lot of the lines outside of the roads. So this is where our knowledge of the maps comes into play. So because we are building a map and we are building traffic technology, we can accurately filter out all the GPS data and match it to the correct roads so that we know which data is noise and which data is actual data that can be used for traffic management. And in this way, we close the loop of the entire ecosystem. So we have a lot of devices on the road. All these devices provide us GPS data continuously, and we continuously, every minute, we update our traffic information in our global data center that is sent out back to the entire application ecosystem. But our vision for the future is to take this a step further, besides just using the TomTom ecosystem, we want to get governments into the loop. In the current situation, we see governments often have a different type of communication to the drivers on the road. With road signs next to the road, governments communicate the current allowed speed limit, or they communicate about diversions on the road. And we are working towards a better integration with governments where we mutually benefit from improvements in the traffic information, and we also align our communication to the driver. And in this world, we believe that together with governments, we can come to a situation where we always accurately inform the driver on the road. And these are the tools that we provide currently to make this possible. At the top you see our real-time traffic solutions, TomTom Traffic and Traffic Flow. And at the bottom you see our historical traffic solutions, speed profiles and traffic stats. And I will highlight each individual solution after this. Let's start with TomTom Traffic Flow. With this solution, you get real-time speed information and travel time information on all the major and secondary roads, updated every minute. On each road segment, we will give you the current speed, the free flow speed, so what is the speed when there is no congestion, the travel time, and a certain confidence value that indicates how much real-time traffic we get in that minute. We provide highly detailed information, so the image you see here only shows the main roads, but if you zoom in further, you will also see that we cover all the secondary roads as well. As I said, this data is updated every 60 seconds, and we can give you access to this data to use in any type of traffic management or routing application. On top of this, we provide TomTom Traffic, which highlights the main congestion every minute. So this contains the traffic jams, but also the roadworks and accident information. So this is the information you are used to seeing in a TomTom navigation device, but we can also give you access to this information for other types of applications. Again, this information is also updated every 60 seconds. And we can provide you some additional extras as well, like safety information for dangerous jam tails or severe weather warnings. And we can also provide some prediction information that tells you the exact duration of each traffic jam and our expectation when a traffic jam will be disappeared. On top of these real-time traffic solutions, we can also use your feedback to improve these solutions. So we now have a solution that allows trustable sources like road operators to directly influence the information we send out to all the drivers. This tool is called our Road Event Reporter. And with this portal, you can make a report that tells us exactly what is going on the road, for example, an incident or roadworks. And within 1 or 2 minutes, this information will be broadcasted to all the drivers using TomTom Traffic. And in this way, it provides a way for road operators to directly influence and directly reach the drivers that are currently on the road. Please get in touch if you would like to contribute to our community in this type of way. One of the use cases that we recently started with is our 2 cities in Sweden. For example, Göteborg and Malmö are now using our real-time traffic flow information to improve their traffic management and improve the information they provide directly to the drivers on the road. We have a lot more use cases like this all over Europe. For example, some of the bigger cities are Berlin, Strasbourg and Bilbao that have been using our traffic information for a long time. Now let's go to our historical information that can be used excellently for more detailed statistics or deep analysis of what is happening on the road. First of all, TomTom Speed Profiles. With this product, you get an indication of the average speed and therefore also a predictive speed for each moment of the week. So what you see here is a certain road segment, and for each road segment we give 7 profiles for each day of the week that tell you exactly what is the speed that is averagely driven on this road. For example, this allows you to say what is the speed on a Thursday morning exactly 8:10 on this road segment. And this information is highly useful for routing or logistics applications. For example, if you use this data in ArcMap, you can see that planning a route at Thursday at 1 o'clock or Thursday at 6 o'clock can give completely different results. In this example, you can see 2 routes going through 8 different points, and on the left the travel time is 67 minutes, and on the right the travel time is 83 minutes. And the distance is different and the complete route is different. So you can see this can have a big impact on any types of logistics application. Looking at urban city logistics, we see a lot of opportunities here to use this data, for example, in emergency management, waste collection, public transport, or postal services. This will give you more reliable route times and timetables. It allows you to optimize for heavy vehicles, so you can indicate exactly the dimensions of the vehicles and the speed of a vehicle and use that in the analysis. And eventually this will result in improved customer satisfaction and also safety, because you can avoid the more crowded areas of the city. Our other historical traffic information product is called Traffic Stats, and this is a web portal that allows you to access all of our historical traffic information in a very interactive and custom solution. The portal can be accessed 24 hours a day and allows you to extract our data in any way you want. And now I will give some examples of how this data can be used for real use cases. So what are the main questions that arise within cities? For example, what are the main bottlenecks? So road operators want to understand where the bottlenecks are and how to compare different bottlenecks to each other. Another common question is, how did the travel time change after a certain project? Infrastructure planning is not only about new projects, but also about measuring the change of travel times before and after a project. Alternatively, this can of course be done with different solutions like ANPR or Bluetooth, or manual counting on the road. We generally see that these solutions are much more expensive. They often have low sample size or only allow you to measure the travel times from a fixed location from A to B. And on top of this, there is no way to go back in time. So if you want to do an analysis now for what was happening last year on a certain road, there is no way to do this with the traditional solutions. So that's why we believe we can make a difference with TomTom traffic data. Let's take an example from France, where Bordeaux Airport came to us with a question. They had made adjustments in the summer of 2015 to improve the traffic conditions in the area around the airport. They would like to make an objective analysis of whether the changes they made to the infrastructure actually had an effect on the traffic on the road. So what they wanted to do was compare the traffic situation early 2016 to early 2015 to see what was the difference after the changes and before the changes. They wanted to analyze only the days Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, because they identified those days as the days with a normal traffic pattern in this area. and they wanted to analyze exactly the hour 9 to 8 in the morning and the hour of 5 to 6 in the afternoon, which is the most congested area, most congested time in this area. So how can we do this with our TomTom traffic stats? We start by using our tool called Custom Area Analysis to do a query on the entire area around the airport. So we first select the area we want to analyze, which is shown in the left window. Then we select the dates that we want to analyze. Here you can see that we have exactly selected the dates requested, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, for the first month of 2015, and we can of course do the same for 2016. On the right you see we can select exactly the times they want to analyze. So in this case we have selected the hour between 8 and 9 and the hour between 5 and 6, and as a comparison some hours during the night to see how fast traffic can travel when there is no congestion in the area. We can make this time selection as specific as 15 minutes, but we also have an API that even allows you to go down to 1 minute. So let's look at the results of this analysis. On the left, you see the results of 2015, and on the right, you see the results of 2016. With the arrows, I have highlighted two segments that have shown a very clear difference in the travel times. The color indicates the speed that is driven on average in the selected time window. And you can see that the arrows point to some road segments that have that are highly congested in the morning period. So you see speeds here generally between 20 kilometers per hour. If we look at 2016, we see that these segments have become much more orange or even green, which shows a very clear difference in the travel times. So let's take a much more detailed look into this exact route of traffic coming from the south and going to the airport at letter B. So how can we do this? We use our second tool that we call Custom Travel Times, which allows you to plan a route from A to B and use exactly the same dates and times to do the analysis. So let's look at the output of this analysis. On the left you see the speed during the morning, and on the right you see the speed during the afternoon. The blue line gives the speed over this entire route from A to B in 2015, while the orange line gives the average speed in 2016. The gray line indicates the speed limit on this road, which shows that there's a big gap between the allowed speed and the speed that is actually driven here. What we can see if we compare the blue line and the orange line is that there's indeed a huge gap in the speed before the first roundabout and the third roundabout. So you see, especially in the morning, there is a huge gain in the travel times on this route. And we can see exactly where this gain has been the biggest. In the afternoon, it shows a completely different speed pattern. We can also see the improvement in 2016, but it's not as big as in the morning. Of course, this allows you to make a very clear and objective analysis of what has happened. And we can also derive very clear statements of the effect of the roadworks. So in this route, we can for example say what was the average speed or the average travel time to go from A to B. And we see that the average travel time has improved more than 2 minutes. So if you calculate the total benefit for the economy, you can identify that literally hours or thousands of hours have been gained by this construction work. And this is exactly the type of result Bordeaux was looking for. Let's take a look at another case in Oslo in Norway. In this situation, there is a specific route that that is measured already for over 20 years. The specific community of Oslo has been doing a report to look at the travel times to get into Oslo from the southwest. And the question here was, can we use TomTom data to replace traditional measuring methods and to come with a more accurate indication of the travel times into the city? So again, we use our custom travel times product. We can identify exactly the same route from A to B. And Oslo indicated they wanted to measure exactly Tuesday and Wednesday, which were seen as the most average days of travel. And again, we define the morning and the afternoon hours as the times that we want to analyze. So looking at the reports they had so far for 2013 and 2014, they identified that there was an improvement in the travel times between these 2 years. However, they could only monitor this improvement on a big stretch of road. So what you see here is that the measurement points were literally a few kilometers apart. And they could identify an improvement on this yellow section in the right graph, but they could not identify exactly where this improvement was made. Now let's look at our data. If we compare 2013 on the left to 2014, we can exactly pinpoint the main bottleneck in 2013 and see that that is where the improvement was made in 2014. So this allows for a much more granular insight in the traffic information. If we take this to the next year, compare 2014 to 2015, we can see a continued improvement on the southwestern section, but we can actually also identify that the traffic has become more dense closer to Oslo. And this was something they had not identified before. So by adding more granular data, you can see much better what is happening to the traffic information. We can even take this one step further by using ArcGIS Pro. We recently loaded some of our custom travel times information in ArcGIS Pro for a specific route on the Ring 1, going west in Helsinki. So what you see here is the average speed in May 2016. And let's zoom in on the type of data we can visualize here. So what you see here is the big colored tube that indicates, where the color indicates the speed on the road on an average working day in May 2016. So if we look, for example, at the red section in the middle, this is a general traffic jam that appears before this junction every morning around 8. And we can see that there's a slightly worse traffic jam at the same spot in the afternoon peak hours. If we look completely at the right, we see also a bit of a red stretch that is appearing just in the afternoon, around 6 p.m. So this is an area where congestion is happening only in the afternoon rush hours and not in the morning rush hours. So in this way, we see that we can use the technology of Esri, ArcGIS Pro, together with our data to get a very detailed insight in what is happening along this road over time of the day. So let's summarize what we have seen today. You can use our data to get the most accurate planning and logistics information. Using our maps and logistics data on top of our traffic information can improve planning and can improve, therefore, the travel times and the cost associated to your logistics. On top of this, we give unrivaled insight in traffic conditions on all roads at any time, which can save money and time on urban studies. So that's it for today. I hope this has been useful for you, and I open the floor for questions.